Welcome in the Organic Chemistry online lecture series. Today we are going to study about the oxidation and reduction reactions of D-glucose and D-fructose. In previous video we have seen the Osage formation reaction of D-glucose and D-fructose. Now we have to study about the oxidation and reduction reactions. Okay, so first of all we'll see the reduction reactions. Okay, so first of all, we'll see the reduction reactions of this D-glucose and D-fructose. Now you know all reduction means addition of hydrogen we can say. Okay, so reduction means hydrogens, addition of hydrogens. Okay. Now if we consider the D-glucose, then we know the structure of D-glucose is. I will write down the structure of D-glucose, C double bond O H, that is CHO. Okay, and CH2OH, in between there are four carbons, okay, so OH, H, OH and H. Okay, so this is the structure of D-glucose. Now many times we have drawn the structure of D-glucose so that अब तक ये आपके ध्यान में आया होगा कि how to write the structure of D-glucose. Okay, now in this D-glucose there is only this CHO group is a free group. Okay, so only reduction of this group can be carried out. So when CHO group is reduced, then it is converted into the CH2OH group, remember. So reduction of aldehyde group takes place into the alcohol. Now this HCOH, these are already reduced groups, so there is no effect of reducing agent on all these other carbons, but only this free aldehyde group is reduced to CH2OH. Okay, so there is a formation of CH2OH, CH2OH. In between there are four carbons, we know. Okay, so OH, H, OH, OH, H, H, OH and H. So this molecule is obtained. Now the name of this is sorbitol, remember, sorbitol. So D-glucose is converted into the sorbitol after reduction. Now what reagent is used here? Remember, here we can use a sodium borohydride as a reagent reducing agent. Okay, or you can use a hydrogen on the surface of nickel as a reducing agent. So either you can use NaBH4 or sodium hydrogen on the surface of nickel as a reducing agent. So these reagents are known as reducing agents. Okay, so always remember that when aldoses are reduced, they forms alditols. Okay, so aldoses on reduction forms alditols, remember. Okay, and what are the reagents used for the reduction is sodium borohydride. Now it is the mild reducing agent, and this reducing agent convert the free aldehyde group into alcoholic group CH2OH. So this is the change which you have to remember only. So CHO group is converted into CH2OH group. Okay, and the name of this product is sorbitol. So conversion of D-glucose into sorbitol, the reagent required will be sodium borohydride, which is a reducing agent. So always remember, when aldoses are reduced, then they forms alditols. Okay, so thus D-glucose is reduced to sorbitol, which is a hexahydric alcohol. There are six hydroxy group, remember, 1 2 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it is hexahydric alcohol. Remember, hexahydric alcohol. So this is the reduction of D-glucose. Now we will see what will happen if we reduce the D-fructose. Now consider the reduction of fructose. Just now we have seen the reduction of D-glucose. Now we will see how we can reduce the D-fructose. So first of all, I will write the structure of D-fructose. Now you know the structure of D-fructose. CH2OH, C double bond O, and then CH2OH, and in between there are 3 carbons, you know. So 2 hydroxy group are on this right hand side and one is on left hand side in this way. So this is the structure of D-fructose. Okay. So most of the times we have written this structure so that uh, you may have understood the structure or remember the structure of D-fructose now. Now you will find here that there is a free carbonyl group here in the D-fructose. So when we reduce this D-fructose by using NaBH4 or H2 on the surface of nickel, okay, so we can carry out a reduction. What will happen? The carbonyl group is going to convert into COH group. Now here there are two possibilities, okay, either this C double bond O group is reduced in this way or in this way. That means either this hydroxy group will came on left hand side or this will came on right hand side. It depends upon the hydride in direction. Okay. Now this NaBH4 is nothing but hydride donor, so it will give hydride. Now this hydride will attack on this carbonyl carbon from below the plane or it will attack from above the plane. So there are two directions of attacking this hydride on this carbonyl group. So depending upon that we can get two products here. So I will draw here the structure of the two products so you will understood. So suppose this is the first CH2H. In between there are 4 carbon atoms. Suppose here is a OH, OH. Now rest of the molecule will be as it is OH, OH, H, H and OH. So if the hydroxy group comes at this position, then we get a sorbitol. You know the name of this is sorbitol. But if the hydroxy group is on left hand side in this way, then it is known as mannitol. Remember, all other groups are same. Okay, so D-fructose on reduction with sodium borohydride or hydrogen on the surface of nickel converted into sorbitol and mannitol. There is only difference in the position of this OH group. In sorbitol, this OH is on right hand side. In mannitol, this OH is on left hand side. Other structure is the same. Okay, so we can say that a reduction of fructose, there is a formation of new asymmetric carbon atom. So this is a new asymmetric carbon atom which is generated over here, and hence it gives two isomeric alditols which are called as a sorbitol and mannitol. Okay, so D-fructose on reduction gives sorbitol and mannitol. Remember, so by using the reducing agent sodium borohydride or hydrogen on the surface of nickel. So this is all about the reduction reaction of this D-glucose and D-fructose. Once again I will revise. D-glucose on reduction with sodium borohydride gives only sorbitol, okay, and D-fructose on reduction with sodium borohydride or hydrogen on the surface of nickel gives two isomeric alditols. One is sorbitol and another one is mannitol. So what is the difference between sorbitol and mannitol? There is a difference only at this asymmetric carbon atom. In sorbitol, the OH group is on this right hand side, and in mannitol the OH group is on this left hand side. Okay, so this is the only difference between the sorbitol and mannitol. So this is all about the reduction reactions of this D-glucose and D-fructose. Now we will study the oxidation reactions of this D-glucose and D-fructose. Now let's study about the oxidation reactions of this D-glucose and D-fructose. Now there are various reagents by which we can carry out the oxidation of D-glucose and D-fructose. So generally there are two types of reagents. Two types of reagents are there. Okay. So the first one is mild oxidizing agent. Mild oxidizing agent, and second one is strong oxidizing agent. Strong oxidizing agent. The example of mild oxidizing agent is bromine water. Remember, bromine water. And the example of strong oxidizing agent is concentrated HNO3. And another example of strong oxidizing agent is periodic acid HiO4. So these are the two strong oxidizing agent, and this bromine water is the mild oxidizing agent. Now we'll see one by one. Now first of all we'll study the mild oxidizing agent, that is bromine water. Bromine water. Now this bromine water is mild oxidizing agent, and due to this it can oxidize only the aldehyde group which is present in the D-glucose. Okay, so we can say it can oxidize only CHO group. Okay, and you remember that oxidation of CHO group takes place into acid group. So when CHO group is oxidized, then this aldehyde group is converted into the acidic group, remember. Okay, and this bromine water is mild reagent, that's why it can only oxidize the pre-CHO group. Okay, now glucose is oxidized by this method to gluconic acid, and ketones do not react with this bromine water, because ketones do not oxidize by using this bromine water. So we can distinguish glucose and fructose by using bromine water, remember. So this reaction can be used to distinguish aldoses from the ketones, because aldoses only react with bromine water, ketones do not react with bromine water. So remember that only aldoses react with bromine water, ketones do not react because it does not have free aldehyde group, do not react with Br2 and H2O. So we can say that only glucose react with bromine water, fructose do not react with bromine water. So we can say that glucose on oxidation with this Br2 and H2O, there is a formation of gluconic acid, remember, gluconic acid. Okay, so glucose can be converted into gluconic acid, but fructose does not react with this bromine water to give any product. So this is about the oxidation of D-glucose and D-fructose using bromine water. Now we will see the reaction. So let's study the reaction of this bromine water with D-glucose. As I said earlier that only D-glucose reacts with bromine water to give gluconic acid. Now all of you have remember the structure of D-glucose. सगळ्यांना D-glucose structure माहित आहे. So CHO and finally CH2OH. In between, there are four uh, carbon atoms are there. So OH, H, OH, OH, H, here is H, OH and H. So this is the structure of, it is D glucose. ये D glucose का structure है. Now you will find here that this aldehyde group is a free here. This is free carbonyl group, we can say. Okay. So bromine water reacts with this uh, glucose to form gluconic acid, D-gluconic acid. Now only this CHO group is converted into the COOH group. Rest of the structure is as it is, CH2OH. So rest of the structure is as it is. There is no any change. So H, OH, H and H. So this CHO group is only converted into this COOH group, and the name of this is D-gluconic acid. So we can say that aldoses, okay, on reaction with bromine water, are converted into aldonic acid. Remember, aldonic acid. But ketoses do not react. Remember, do not react with this bromine water. Now one thing which is important to remember here is that in this bromine water the reagent is HOBr. This is the active oxidizing agent generated when bromine reacted with water. So when bromine is reacted with water, Br2 plus HOH, there is a formation of this HOBr, okay, plus HBr. So this HOBr is used as a oxidizing agent here. So finally I will once again repeat, D-glucose has free aldehyde group, okay, so it is reducing and it can also oxidize. So aldehyde group can be oxidized into the carboxylic acid group by using this mild oxidizing agent, that is Br2 in water. So the active oxidizing agent here is this HOBr. So D-glucose is converted into D-gluconic acid. So we can say that aldoses can oxidize by using bromine in water to form corresponding aldonic acid, but ketoses do not react with this bromine in water. So we can use this reaction to distinguish aldoses and ketoses. Remember, okay. तो अगर हमें डी ग्लूकोज और डी फ्रुक्टोज को डिस्टिंग्विश करना है तो वी कैन यूज दिस मेथड इन द लैबोरेटरी. D glucose can react with this bromine water to form D gluconic acid, okay, but fructose will not react with this uh, bromine water, okay. So there is a decolorization occurs when D glucose reacts with bromine in water to form D gluconic acid, but there is a no decolorization when D fructose reacts with bromine water. So in this way we can use this test to distinguish between D glucose and D fructose into the laboratory. I will see other strong oxidizing agent. So we will see oxidation by using concentrated HNO3 now. Now let's study the oxidation of this D-glucose and D-fructose with using this concentrated HNO3. Now as I said earlier, this concentrated HNO3 is stronger oxidizing agent than bromine water. Okay, bromine water was a mild oxidizing agent, but this concentrated HNO3 is stronger oxidizing agent as compared to bromine water. So what happens, so when concentrated HNO3 is used as oxidizing agent, both the terminal alcoholic group of glucose and as well as its free aldehyde group both are reduced. So first of all, I will draw here the structure of D-glucose. Okay, you know the structure of D-glucose, CH2OH. Okay, in between, there are four carbons, so OH, OH, H, OH, H, OH, H and S. So this is the structure of D-glucose, very well. Okay, now here we know that by using bromine water, this group were converted into the COH group, but this group was not affected by bromine in water. But when we use concentrated nitric acid as a oxidizing agent, then this group is also oxidized, remember. So when this D-glucose is oxidized by using concentrated HNO3, okay, so oxidation occurs. So three oxygens are provided here and we get the product, remember, COOH. So this group is converted into COOH group and this CH2OH group is also converted into COOH group. So in between groups are as it is, so they do not have any effect of this concentrated HNO3 because they are already oxidized group. Okay, so OH, H and H. So D-glucose is converted into the product of this, the name of this product is glucaric acid, remember, glucaric acid, or it is also known as saccharic acid, remember, saccharic acid. So glucaric acid and saccharic acid both are same with the elimination of water molecule. So remember that when D-glucose is oxidized by using concentrated nitric acid, there is a oxidation of this CHO group as well as oxidation of this terminal CH2OH group, and hence we get the glucaric acid as a product. So remember, when aldogens are oxidized by using concentrated HNO3, then they are converted into aldehydic acid, remember. Okay, so like D-glucose is converted into D-glucaric acid in this way. Okay, so when D-glucose is oxidized by using concentrated nitric acid, D-glucaric acid is formed, or the name of this D-glucaric acid is saccharic acid as well. Okay, so this is the reaction of D-glucose with concentrated nitric acid. Now we will see what happens when we react D-fructose in presence of this concentrated nitric acid. Okay, now let's see what happens when the D-fructose is oxidized by using concentrated nitric acid. सबको पता है the structure of D-fructose is like this: CH2OH, C double bond O, okay, and then CH2OH. In between, there are three carbons, so OH, OH, H, OH, H and H. So this is the structure of D-fructose. It is the ketoses, D-fructose. So what is the difference between D-fructose and D-glucose? In D-fructose, at carbon number 2, there is a free carbonyl group. Okay, remember. Now when this fructose is oxidized with concentrated HNO3, there is a bond breakage between C2 and C3 carbon. So this is carbon 2 carbon and this is third carbon. So the bond between this C2 and C3 breaks down. Okay, concentrated nitric acid. So we can say oxidation, and there is a loss of CO2, and we get the product like this COOH. COOH. In between there are 3 carbons. So OH, OH, H, OH, H and H. So this terminal CH2OH group is oxidized to COOH group, and this COOH group is again oxidized to COOH group. So the name of this compound is glutaric acid, remember. So it is called as trihydroxy glutaric acid. Okay. Now again further there is a bond break between this C2 and C3 carbon to give tartaric acid and glycolic acid. So again we get two product here, COOH, COH. In between there are these two OH and hydrogen. So name of this is tartaric acid. Tartaric acid. Again we get another product, that is CH2OH, COOH. The name of this is glycolic acid, remember. Glycolic acid. So we can say that when this D-fructose is oxidized in presence of concentrated H2SO4, we can expect three products. One is glutaric acid, then tartaric acid and glycolic acid. So you have to remember this reaction. This is important reaction. This is not as like D-glucose. So when D-fructose is oxidized, we can expect three oxidized products when we use concentrated nitric acid as oxidizing agent. So glutaric acid, tartaric acid and glycolic acid, these are the three products which we can get from the oxidation of this D-fructose in presence of concentrated nitric acid. Okay, so this is all about oxidation of D-glucose and D-fructose by using concentrated nitric acid. Okay, now the another reagent is there, that is HiO4, periodic acid of, as an oxidizing agent. So we will see now oxidation of D-glucose and D-fructose by using periodic acid. Now as I said earlier, this periodic acid, that is HiO4, is the strongest oxidizing agent as compared to bromine in water as well as concentrated nitric acid. So what will happen if we oxidize D-glucose and D-fructose using periodic acid, that we will see. So first of all, it is very strong oxidizing agent, remember, very strong oxidizing agent. Okay, and it cleave the carbon-carbon bond between vicinal diols, remember, vicinal diols. Okay, and this particular oxidation is known as Malpred oxidation, remember. So oxidation of vicinal diols in presence of this periodic acid is known as Malpred oxidation, remember. So what is the speciality of this reagent? Now what are vicinal diols? Suppose HCOH, and again we have another HCOH. Rest of the molecule is suppose different. So this, when we use this periodic acid HiO4, so it can break this bond directly to form these two fragments, HC double bond O plus HC double bond O, like this. So whatever number of vicinal diols are there into the starting material, all that vicinal diols are break down by this periodic acid because it is very strong oxidizing agent. So for one vicinal diol, remember this is important, for one vicinal diol 1 mole of HiO4 is required. ओके मतलब कंपाउंड में अगर 4 विसिनल डायोल्स है तो हमें 4 मोल ऑफ HiO4 लगेंगे. ठीक है. सो जितने भी विसिनल डायोल्स है उतने नंबर ऑफ मोल्स पर आयोडिक एसिड के हमें लगने वाले हैं टू क्लीव और टू ऑक्सीडाइज दिस विसिनल डायोल्स. Now let's see the reaction of D-glucose and D-fructose directly. Now we'll see directly the oxidation of this D-glucose and D-fructose using HiO4. So you know the open chain structure of D-glucose, I will write here. So HC double bond O, okay, CH2 OH. In between, you know, there are 4 carbons, so OH, OH, H, OH, H, OH, H and H. So this is the structure of D glucose, open chain structure. Now as I said earlier, this HiO4 oxidize the vicinal diols. So how many vicinal diols are there? See, so this is one of the pair, this is another pair, this is another pair, this is another pair and this is another pair. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will require 5 HiO4 molecules to oxidize this. Okay, and what are the products? Remember, we get 5 HCOOH plus we get 1 formaldehyde HCH double bond O plus we get 5 HiO3. So these are the products. So this is formic acid, you know, formic acid, this is formaldehyde. Okay, so when D-glucose is oxidized by using this periodic acid, we get formic acid and formaldehyde. So very simple reaction, you just have to remember that periodic acid is a very strong oxidizing agent, so it can break down total molecule D-glucose. Similarly, if we take the D-fructose, I will draw here the structure of D-fructose, CH2OH, okay, C double bond O, CH2OH, in between, you know, there are 3 carbons. So this is the structure of D-fructose, I can say. Now here how many pairs of vicinal diols are there? See, this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here also we will require 5 HiO4 molecules to break down this D-fructose. So when this D-fructose is treated with this 5 HiO4, again here we get 2 HCH double bond O, that is formaldehyde, plus we get 3 moles of formic acid, okay, plus 1 mole of CO2 plus 5 moles of HiO3. So in this way, when we oxidize D-fructose by using this periodic acid, we get 2 moles of this formaldehyde, then 3 moles of this formic acid, okay, this 1 mole of carbon dioxide and 5 moles of HiO3. So this is all about the oxidation of this D-glucose and D-fructose using HiO4. So in summary, we have seen the reduction reaction of D-glucose and D-fructose. Okay, so the reagent used for the reduction was NaBH4. Okay, again we can use hydrogen on the surface of nickel. So we have seen that aldoses can be converted into alditols there. Okay, again we have seen the oxidation reaction of D-glucose and D-fructose. So three reagents were used: bromine, water were used as a mild oxidizing agent. Then we have used concentrated nitric acid, and third was HiO4, that is periodic acid. So by using these three oxidizing agent, we have done the oxidation of D-glucose and D-fructose. So in this video, we will stop here and we'll meet in the next video with another reactions of this D-glucose and D-fructose. So have a nice day. Thank you.